The Thoroughbred is a magnificent animal, bred for speed, bred to compete, the sport of kings.
Wow, West Coast has it by 6.
It's the all-new LetsGoRacingParks.com. Take a ride into this kind of action.
3 of them are right together with 1 furlong to go.
LetsGoRacingParks.com is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's fun to see them run.
A very pleasant good morning, racing fans, and welcome here to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. Later this afternoon, Maximus Mischief will get his first big test up in New York. Dick and I will talk about the big colt here at the top of the show. Our local race of the week, a first level allowance at 1 mile and 70 yards, a very competitive field. Would that result in a dramatic finish? We'll have that coming up in our first block. We'll also head down to Churchill Downs for our national race of the week, the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club, one of the big early season races for 2-year-olds, and we'll have graded action as well from New York and California. Hi everybody, Keith Jones down on the beautiful first floor here at Parks Racing, and he is back. My good friend Dick Girardi, and Dick, later this afternoon, all eyes, I mean a lot of eyes, are going to be up at Aqueduct as we look at Maximus Mischief in the Remsen.
Yeah, it's, as you said, Keith, it's the first big test. Obviously, he's blown away the 2 fields he's run against here, run some of the best speed figures we've ever seen here by a 2-year-old. 94 at his first start, 98 in his second start. You saw his 2 workouts prior to the half-mile breeze, which they moved up to 7 a.m., which was even before you got here on Monday. They actually had to miss a couple of days because Thanksgiving the track was closed, and then there was some weather issues. But man, he is ready. The workouts have been tremendous. Butch Reed, Jenny Reed, his wife, they were out here on the apron Monday along with Chuck Sackney, Glenn Bennett, the owners, and they're all excited to see how he matches up with what turns out to be some really good 2-year-olds that are going to run. You know what? Butch is not bringing up anything but a real serious racehorse. The pedigree is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think by Into Mischief, I mean, they're running longer. Into Mischief's best son was Golden Sense, who won the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile twice. Maybe he was slightly limited going longer, but I don't see it. This horse does not seem to get tired, and it's great to see our man Frankie get a chance for his first big national run, and this is the last race as a 2-year-old, and he'll be off to Gulfstream Park after this, and they want to go with a win and a graded stake.
They just this past weekend, Churchill Downs offered the very first of the future book wagers, and Maximus did get some attention.
He did. It was 26 to 1 when it closed. I think you said that made him the 6th
of the horses.
Of the horses.
Yeah.
The favorite among the horses was the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, game winner.
No surprise.
He was 5 to 1. The overall favorite was All Others, which has been a pretty good place to be in this because a lot of the horses that are going to beat Derby horses like Justified didn't even run this time last year. And second choice, also from Baffert, Coliseum. People that didn't get to see him break his maiden. He's really good. So Double B is loaded. We'll see if the horse from Parks can find a way to stop the Baffert streak in the Derby next year.
Well, if he runs well in the Remsen, 26 to 1 is going to see him golden, I'll tell you that.
Yes, anyone that has 26 to 1, and anybody that might even have 40 to 1, or even those people, Keith, who have 75 to 1 will be very happy if he runs well in the Remsen.
I know what I'm going to be doing later on this afternoon. But Dick, let's get to our racing coverage now. We're going to start, of course, with our local race of the week, 1 mile and 70 yards first level allowance. They'll run for $46,000 here in Dick. This looked to be a very competitive field. Number 3, Fiery Opal, draws the most support at the windows, 2 to 1 for trainer Miguel Penaloza. Back in the summertime, he put up some big numbers.
He did.
And then it is last try here in the A, other than missed it by just an act to a good horse named Hidden Funds out of the Mike Pino barn.
Yeah, he backed up a 96 and a 95 in the summertime. The numbers aren't quite as good now, but boy, what a great year this horse has had. 8 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, 2 thirds.
Don't like to knock anybody, but not really thrilled with the jockey change here. Anthony Nunez has not been winning very much, and we go from Joe Bravo, Edwin Rivera, Castellano to now to a guy that has been winning
9 for 155 does not have you that excited?
Does not have me excited, especially at that 2 to 1 price. This second choice is the entry. Carlos Guerrero sending out the 1 Indigo Breeze, the 1A Danny O, 3 to 1 on the entry, and he can make a case for both of these. Let's look at Danny O. He's run 3 consecutive victories and 5 starts in a row where he is absolutely fired.
Yeah, and Carlos, once they start running, they usually stay running, and of course 10 Strike and Marshall Graham, they're a leading owner here for a couple of years now. When they're in, you got to take them seriously.
Local waste of the week, 1 mile and 70 yards. Here's the call. So they move to the back stretch. We be jabbing on top by just over a length. Working on a Dream is second ahead. Vegas Strip far outside third. Tattered down nearest the rail sitting fourth. Fiery Opal is in between horses 5th and just about 3 lengths off the lead. A gap of 3 more back to Danny O, who takes back just a bit, now running 6 toward the half-mile pole. A gap of another 4 back to These Blues and Indigo Breeze. Scherzo at the back is running some 10 lengths behind, 47 and 3 for the half. So they're in pursuit of We Be Jammin' with 3.5 furlongs to go, and he extends that lead to almost 3 lengths now. Working on a dream between horses 2nd. No rally on the outside from Vegas Strip. On the inside, Tatter tried to get involved. Fiery Opal is in between horses, but some 4 lengths off of We Be Jammin', who continues to hold on to a big lead coming to the quarter pole. It's We Be Jammin'. Top of the stretch, about 3.5, Fiery Opal. Now moving to be 2nd. Tatter to save ground throughout, now set down 3rd. And then it's farther back to Working on a Dream, but on the far outside, Danny O. We Be Jammin'. Well, no Fiery Opal, no Indigo Breeze, no Danny O. How about We Be Jammin'?
How about We Be
It's like a one-horse race here. We Be Jammin' gets a big lead early on. It never surrenders. It goes on to win 4.5, totally convincing at 5-1, $12.60. The win price, Michael Sanchez up for Cindy Servideo. Number 3, Fiery Opal does get 2nd. Number 4, Scherzo for Butch Reed was 3rd. Dick, We Be Jammin' was claimed for $8,000 back in mid-October. That's a pretty good $8,000 well spent.
I'll say. Lone Speed, the most dangerous commodity in horse racing. I mean, it just is, Keith.
Yeah.
If you can find them, it's amazing how well they run under those circumstances. This horse got an 80 buyer. Career best prior to this was an 82, but put him on the lead, anybody is dangerous.
Well, 6 for 12 on the year, so this horse knows how to win and
Yes,
likes to
indeed.
win, and he did it in style on the weekend. Well, Dick, let's get to our new segment, Ask the President.
Ask the Pres.
Yes, Ask the President with our man Sal DeBunda. As we know, there have been some misconceptions in terms of how horse racing is funded.
Correct.
Well, why don't we get Sal to clear that up?
Let's do it.
Well, here's more with Ask the Pres.
One of the key things that actually has drawn some misconceptions has been about how the industry, the horse racing industry in Pennsylvania, actually gets funded. This program that exists uses no tax dollars in Pennsylvania. There is a shared revenue process. Explain that to people, because I don't think everyone understands that.
Well, there are really 2 sources of revenue to the horse racing industry. And one is pari-mutuel, that's the bets. Okay, we get a percentage of what's left over after the win. So when a bettor gets their win back, what's left is split up among the state, the racetrack, and the horse. So we get a share of that. The other what's happened in the last 10 years, we also now get a share of slots, because when the slot legislation was coming in, we realized that the tracks were going to be competing with our horse racing, so they agreed to pay us a percentage of their slot revenues to give us to help increase purses. But we were very careful to not only take it for purses, we took it for breeders, the breeders program, we took it for health care, and we took it for pensions. Most other jurisdictions took the money for purses, but didn't do what we did in terms of helping the breeding program. So for example, of every dollar we get from slots, only 80% of it goes to handle. 16% goes to the breeders, and 4% goes to the pensions and health care. We have a health care program for our trainers. We also have pensions for people who retire. And one of the reasons why that was important to us, Pat, was that we're a year-round facility, so that the people here live here, go to school here, raise their children here, and they retire here. And we felt that they needed to have year-round health care and a pension when they finish their careers.
I mean, that's a real different approach, isn't it? That Parks has that other places don't have.
Yes, because most of the other racetracks have always been transient. You'll see,
Sure.
But we are a year-round facility, and for that reason, we kind of had to change our focus and not just look about what purses were. We had to look about taking care of the community in which we're in.
But the other thing too, it would seem to me that in light of the fact that this is a year-round program and that other places are not, that this is a highly competitive industry.
So we're competing with other states to basically keep the owners and the trainers and the jockeys here and everything else that goes with it. The reason that slots even came into Pennsylvania, after they had gotten slots in Delaware and West Virginia, we were losing owners, trainers, and jockeys to those states. And basically what the legislature said, we need to make a level playing field and bring those people back. And it worked.
And so you've used the horse as kind of the centerpiece But that horse has also created a wheel of a lot of other jobs.
Correct.
Because of the way that the industry operates.
And that it benefits the local municipality, it benefits the county, and it benefits the state. So that's where all that comes from.
Of course, our thanks to Pat Shiraki and Sal DeBunda. But Dick, you and I, who have been close to the game, have heard this over and over so many times about it's people's tax dollars, and it's not.
No, it isn't. Look, the act was passed by the legislature back in 2004. So the slot money here at the track goes to help fund the purses of the track, as does the betting money, which goes through the windows. That's the way it's been. It's not tax dollars that's coming from somebody else.
Yeah.
That's the law.
That's it. Well, Dick, time to go to our first break. When we come back, national coverage. How about some 2-year-olds? We like 2-year-olds.
We do.
We'll be right back after this.
Topper T, fleet-footed up the backstretch, leading by 2.5.
Looking to join the thrill and excitement of thoroughbred racehorse ownership? Pewter Stable can get you started. With more than 25 years of experience under the leadership of Greg and Kate DeMasi, Pewter Stable is one of the industry's leaders in racing partnerships, winning hundreds of races and millions of dollars at racetracks all over the Mid-Atlantic, including New York. Pewter Stable is working hard, looking for the very best runners at all the top sales, and we do claiming partnerships as well. No markup, no management fees, makes our partnerships unique and affordable. Training services also provided for individual owners. Give us a call and see what Pewter Stable is all about. The thrill and fun of thoroughbred racehorse ownership is easier than you think. We are Pewter Stable.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. Time to delve into our national coverage. It's brought to you by Chapman Auto Group. Unless our emblem is on the back of your car or truck, you probably paid too much. Down to Churchill Downs, the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club. The 2-year-olds going 1 mile and 1/16 for $200,000. A big, bulky field. Deck number 13, Knicks Go, gets bet down to 3-1. A very tepid favorite for our guy Ben Colebrook. Since they added Lasix, he has been significantly improved and at huge prices.
70-1 when he won the Breeders' Futurity, and then he was 40-1 when he was second to Game Winner. Keith, I kind of like those prices.
Yeah?
Don't like to bet horses at 3-1 as the favorite. He's a Maryland bred. It's a neat story.
Right.
Breeders like kind of got a 1 or 2 horse stable. But yeah, Knicks Go now at 3-1. By the way, this really isn't Knicks Go. There's some kind of Japanese thing involved there. I don't even understand.
It's not the basketball.
But it's not named after the New York Knicks.
Now, he's the son of Painter, so just to note. The second choice here, number 1, Signal Man. You get 7-2 for trainer Kenny McPeak. He is a son of General Quarters, and he also has been running at big prices, and he has just been behind Knicks Go in his last 2 starts.
Right, he was 67-1 in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile when he ran a pretty good third for our buddy Kenny McPeak.
Down to Churchill Downs. Here's the call of the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club.
Topper T from the outside post out to set the pace. Knicks Go sticking with that one, and they're head early. Blue Steel comes away third. King for Day advancing up into fourth. Thump settles nicely inside fifth. Signalman is on the move from sixth. Mixed Stars racing in seventh. Royal Earn on the outside is eighth by another 2. And then it's Tracksmith racing in ninth by another 5. Current comes away 10th, and on the inside, Pluska Parfait's racing 11th by another 6. Everfast is near the back with Limonite. The trailer is Royland, about 12 lengths off the lead. The pace is swift, 23 seconds flat. Topper T, fleet-footed up the backstretch, leading by 2.5. Knicks Go backed off just a bit to sit second. Here's Signal Man with an early move. Signal Man sneaking up the inside underneath into third. Blue Steel fourth. King for a Day is launching a rally, but forced to go very wide. Blue Steel took a bad step there, lost a couple of spots. Dumpf is right in the mix. So is Tracksmith down inside. Farther back in the field, Royal Earn is mustering up a late rally. They round the far turn, still Topper T to catch. Topper T comes to the top of the stretch. King for a Day is poised on the outside with a 3-wide challenge. Dumpf is coming with a rally too as they come off the turn. Here's King for a Day coming after Topper T. They're head and head for the lead. Pluska Parfait's rolling down the side of the track. Here comes Pluska Parfait. Tracksmith bursts on the scene. Limonite's coming down the side of the track as well. There's 1 furlong to go. Signal Man sneaking through on the inside of King for a Day. Pluska Parfait battles on. Limonite on the far outside. Final 16th. Here's Signal Man and and Pluska Parfait to the wire together. Signalman inside, got it.
Well, next go. Again, you got those big numbers the last 2 times, but not today, 3-1, and you didn't want to bet him, so he is off the board. Number 1, Signalman, who I thought got a great ride from Brian Hernandez.
Indeed.
7-2, the price wins by a net pace, $9.20 to win. And Brian Hernandez made that middle move up the backstretch to get his horse involved. And of course, he needed him to go on in the stretch, but he did, and he won it by a neck.
And often when these off tracks at Churchill, Calvin Burrell showed us this, there's a path nearer the rail.
Right.
He stayed on it. Not a great number, only an 84 buyer. And I would also, the number 4 horse in here, Dump, is named after Fran Dunphy, the Temple basketball coach, and part owned by our buddy Joe Bessiker. He had won his last race by 7 3/4. He didn't run so good this time. He ran 9th. Joe was sending me pictures from the paddock, and I didn't hear from him for a while after the race.
Well, Kenny McPeak. Now, the next race we're going to show was actually before the Kentucky Jockey Club, so Kenny McPeak won that. Let's see if he could have swept the 2 races. Yep, the Goldenrod for the 2-year-old fillies. A couple races before, the same distance, 1 mile and 1/16, the same purse at $200,000. And we have a big favorite here, and it's number 5, Restless Rider, 3-5 for trainer Kenny McPeak. He is back on short, or she is back on short rest after finishing behind some filly named Jaywalk in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies.
Somebody had to be second at Jaywalk. There was a lot of room to get in there, and it turned out Restless Rider was. She was 5.5 lengths back. She had won the Alcibiades prior to that. Best number is an 85. She looked like an absolute cinch on paper, and then when they run the race, you're sure she can't lose this race.
Well, second choice, number 8, Break Curfew, is 5-2 for Chad Brown. Now, this is her first try against winners. You got to go from going short in a maiden special weight into a Grade 2 race going long. Big step up.
But it is Chad Brown, and it isn't into mischief. And anytime Chad is in, he gets overbet. And sometimes that's the right time.
Sometimes it works. Thrilling finish. Here's the Goldenrod.
Moving for the backstretch run, Leora shows the way, leading by a length with 6 furlongs to go. Break Curfew stalking the pace, and so too is Restless Rider on the outside. They go 1, 2, 3. The opening quarter's on the board in 24 and 1/5 seconds. Gold Credit is inside racing, 4th past the 5/8 pole. An opening at the inside for High Regard, and she tugs up on through to within 3 lengths of the lead. Princess Causeway is there. Reflect is forced to go wide to the half-mile pole and shuffled back to last is Champagne Anyone. It's a tight pack as they move on to the far turn. Leora still in front. Break Curfew still second. Restless Rider winding up now. 3rd in the outside and getting closer is she. High Regard is covered up inside. 4th is around the far turn. Gold Credit's right in the thick of it. Reflect is forced to go wide. Princess Causeway shuffled back with Champagne Anyone as they come to the top of the stretch. Leora is still in front. On the outside, Break Curfew to the attack. Restless Rider is let loose down the center of the track. High Regard cut the corner off the turn. They're racing for the mid-stretch marker. Here's Restless Rider on the outside up for the lead, but Leora is stubborn down toward the rail. High Regard is rallying from 3rd. Farther back, Champagne Anyone trying to get into 4th. There's 100 yards to go. Leora's still there. Restless Rider trying hard to get by. Now she takes over the lead, but Leora fights right back. These 2 fillies to the wire. Photo!
Well, Restless Rider, a cinch on paper. They don't run them on paper.
But look, and the stretch, does she not look like she can't possibly lose?
Number 6, Leora, who's 27-1 for trader Juan Catalano, sets easy fractions and then stays on.
Lone speed.
Wins it by a 55.80 to win. Dick, how about that?
Yeah, look, Restless Rider almost has to win the race, but maybe she just had run too hard, come back too fast. It was only a 75 winning buyer. Nah, not a very good race of the Goldenrod.
You said something about putting X through these horses?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah. Okay.
And I'd love to see Kenny win the Derby one year. It'd be awesome, but these horses just Signalman's not fast enough.
That Grade 3 Native Diver. We love to go out to Del Mar here. 1 mile and 1/8 here for a purse of $100,000, and unfortunately half the field scratched out, but we still ended up with a great race.
Yes, we did.
Let's look at the favorite, number 4, Battle of Midway. Battle of Midway is back 3-5 for trainer Jerry Hollendorfer. Won the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile last year, so pretty good.
And he was 3rd at the Derby at 40-1 behind Always Dreaming, and he upset me and Sharp Azteca in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile last year. I haven't forgotten that. But this is a really good horse, Battle Midway.
Number 6, Dabster, is even money second choice for some guy named Bob Baffert. Tell us about Dabster.
Well, it's Baffert. He actually ran in the Breeders' Cup Marathon, which is no longer actually part of the Breeders' Cup. It's not a graded race or anything. Ran second. That race was at 1 3/4 miles. So he's coming way back in distance to 1 1/8 miles today.
Could you say match race?
I can.
Yes, the Native Diver. Here's the call.
They head past the three-quarter pole. Looks like all riders happy with their situation now. Battle of Midway. Comfortable leader by half a length. Dabster, rider just took a look back there to see where Isotherm is. Isotherm probably 2.5 back. They run past the 5/8 and Joe Talamo decides to kick on now. Takes Dabster to the lead. Dabster goes on to lead a half a length. Battle of Midway right there at the rail. And still Isotherm only a length and a half back in the third spot. Half mile to go, and Flavion Pratt comes right back at Joe Talamo now as Battle of Midway runs up nose and nose with Dabster. Those two going to pass the 3/8 together. It's now 3.5 back to Isotherm, now 4 to Isotherm. Past the 3/8 they go. Battle of Midway at the rail and Dabster. Absolutely nothing in it. Just an inch in it, and now dropping out of it here is Isotherm. He's getting distanced. They are coming to the top of the lane now. Battle of Midway, the first one to come under a hard ride. Dabster up alongside, being sent along. These two nose and nose. This could turn into an absolute thriller here. Battle of Midway now gains the advantage. Dabster plugs right back at him though. Battle of Midway and Flavion Pratt. Dabster and Joe Talamo battling to the wire together. Battle of Midway just in front. Here's the wire. Battle of Midway.
Well, these two were pretty much side by side the whole way. This is a match race. Battle of Midway and Dabster going at it. And Battle of Midway prevails, wins it by a neck, pays $3.20 to win. Flavion Pratt on board for Hall of Famer Jerry Hollendorfer.
Yeah, it was a match race. Essentially,
Absolutely.
the Isotherm was beating 100 lengths back there. And if people are saying, well, who's Native Diver?
Who is Native Diver?
He is like the John Henry of Southern California, or the Ben's Cat of Maryland and PA. One of the legendary horses out there. You'll love this, Keith. He started September of 61.
Okay.
His last start was September of 67. 81 career starts, 37 wins, $1 million in purses when it mattered. He ran so long ago that half the tracks he ran at in California
don't exist.
Bay Meadows, Hollywood Park, Tanforan, all gone.
Yeah.
But Native Diver, and everybody in Southern California remembers him that knows racing from the 60s, that he was a huge, huge hero out there.
You win 37 races. You better have a stake race.
Indeed, and his last race was the Del Mar Handicap in 1967, thus the Native Diver at Del Mar.
Dick, let's get to our next break. We come back here on Let's Go Racing. We are going to meet our turning for home horse of the week, and of course, jockey and trainer of the week as well. Be back with that after this.
What does Chapman's 7 locations and 10 car brands mean to you? It means a huge selection of quality pre-owned vehicles, all makes and models, many one-owner low mileage certified with miles of factory warranty remaining. Safety checked, meticulously detailed, and each come with a free Carfax report so you can buy with complete confidence at any Chapman Auto store near you. Or shop online anytime at ChapmanPreowned.com.
If our emblem is not on your car or truck, you probably did pay too much.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing, and it's time to meet our Turning for Home horse of the week. Of course, all of this brought to you by the great folks at Turning for Home. Log on to their website at turningforhome.org. His name this week is Quiet Revenge, and Quiet Revenge is known around the barn as Arson. He's a 5-year-old chestnut gelding by Icebox. He stands around 16 hands. He was a Keeneland sale grad as a yearling, selling for $25,000 a retired sound, Dick, which is always a good thing. Yes. Here at Parks, he ran 19 of his 20 starts, earned better than $53,000 for his owners, King Star and trainer Juan Vasquez. Now, he has a great disposition. He loves the attention. He'll be suitable for any discipline of riding. He has had plenty of time to let down and taken a life off the track, so don't miss out on this awesome, versatile gelding. He can be adopted at our partner farm, Double Take Stables, that's located in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Your spot.
You got it. He's eligible for the 2019 Thoroughbred Makeover. Quiet Revenge, our Turning for Home horse of the week. Let's get to our jockey and trainer of the week. Our jockey of the week, we like to, when some of the smaller guys, so to speak, have a good week. How about our man Adam Bowman? Adam does not get the best mounts. A lot of double-digit horses.
Correct.
He had 3 wins this week.
He did.
Adam Bowman is our jockey of the week. And how about our man Ralph Riviezzo?
Love Ralph.
Ralphie has not been to the winner's circle a whole lot the last couple of years, but he has been finding it of late.
He's hot.
And we have to tip our cap to our man Ralph Riviezzo. He is our trader of the week. Well, let's get to race recap up to Aqueduct for the Grade 3 Discovery. Dick, they'll go 1 mile and 1/8 1/8 for $200,000. And the favorite here, number 3, Plainsman, is 4-5. Dick Gronkowski is in here at 6-5. He has just never run back to that race in the Belmont. But Dick Plainsman, Brad Cox going to win another graded race.
Yeah, Brad Cox just got his 1,000th win. He's having a great year. He probably will not win the Eclipse Award, but you could make a pretty good case he should be involved in it because he's had a phenomenal year. And Gronkowski, he picks the Belmont when I got the cold try for like way too much money to decide to run. Ugh. Hasn't been seen or heard from since.
Plainsman pays $3.80 to win. Finally out to Del Mar for the Grade 2 Seabiscuit. We're on the turf again at 1 mile and 1/16, $200,000 purse. And Dick, the favorite, if I can find it, is about 8 pages away here. We're going to look at the 7. Let's look at number 1, Caribou Club. Dick, 7-1 for trainer Tom Proctor. He was just behind Stormy Liberal going short last time out, put up a big number, and he gets it done going long here.
Yeah, and if you're just behind Stormy Liberal, that's big time. The 2-time winner of the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, and Caribou Club's going to get up and win here. The Seabiscuit of handicap. Speaking of California legends, the all-time legend once won a match race at Del Mar way back in the day.
$16.20 to win, so a pretty nice investment there at Caribou Club. Dick, Eye on Racing.
Yes, sir.
Later this afternoon here at Parks, it is the Pennsylvania Nursery.
And Butch Reed will be involved in that too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got horses everywhere. And speaking of Eye on Racing, it also John Service and Chuck Zackney have a filly Jennifer's Dream going on the same card at Aqueduct as Maximus Mischief. She will be in the Demoiselle. So Chuck is looking at a potential huge day, and of course he's got a part of Jaywalk. So Chuck is hot, and when Chuck is hot, look out.
Think he's having fun right now?
He is.
And the Grade 1 Cigar Mile, don't want to forget that.
Yes, indeed.
Dick, news and notes. Big jockey, hanging it up.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this.
Racehorses are pampered,
treated with care, and loved.
Nothing is more important than their health and their safety.
We do right by them,
and they do right by us.
the hard-working folks
who proudly earn our living
in Pennsylvania's horse racing
and breeding industries.
Horse racing is a lot of fun.
But it's so much more.
It provides tens of thousands of jobs.
Jobs, and billions in economic impact each year.
All across the Commonwealth.
Horse racing in Pennsylvania. It's a winner.
Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing News and Notes. Our final segment brought to you by the great folks at Pewter Stable. Their website is pewterstable.com, and she's back. Trish Bowman with us today. Of course, Bruce Casella, Dick Girardi, Keith Jones, and Dick, Let's Go RacingParks.com.
Yes, sir.
Your story this week is about some 2-year-old named Maximus Mischief.
Yeah,
I read it. It's tremendous.
Yeah, previewing the Remsen. As I said, I was out here for the final work on Monday and just talked to Butch and Chuck and Glenn and everybody with the horse, and everybody's excited.
Yes.
It's been Parks' year. Why wouldn't Maximus Mischief run great again?
Let's Go RacingParks.com. And Dick, great all-time jockey Gary Stevens. His last ride, we're going to show his last ride here out on the West Coast. He got hurt early in the day. He stuck it out, was finished third in the Bob Hope, but 5,187 career wins.
Yeah, he's one of the best we've ever had. There's no question. He's been in the Hall of Fame for quite a long time. And my favorite Gary Stevens ride, the '88 Kentucky Derby on Winning Colors, when he showed how to ride a loose on the lead horse. Don't give up what you already have. Pat Day was too late, like he often was on 49er. Just a tremendous ride. And that was Gary. It's one of his 3 derbies. Beholder in the Breeders' Cup, the great Beholder Songbird race, his final start in the Bob Hope, where he finished third at Del Mar, and he went in to see his doctor. He was having problems with his back, and they took an MRI and said, "Gary, you're done." Like it was potentially a real problem. So glad he got out. And of course, he also played George Wolfe in Seabiscuit.
You probably didn't remember. You two have something in common.
That's right.
We're both movie stars.
Well, he's like a big-time star. I got 13 words in it, Secretariat. But yeah, I think Gary could do anything. He was great as a commentator and just a wonderful guy, and absolutely one of the best riders in American history.
Still can't figure out why you didn't get nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, me and Diane Lane, my co-star.
Absolutely. Dick the Remsen later today.
Yes, sir.
We'll have that next week for you right here on Let's Go Racing. Thanks for joining us.